Hi, my name is Marjorie and today I'm going to show you things that enough to open your mind about how dangerous our waste can be when it reaches its limitations. But first, let me show you some interesting facts that will burst your mind into lots of realizations if we people continue to do this as a daily routine every single day. Millions of plastic bottles are bought around the world every minute. Philippines is the world's third biggest dumper of plastics in the ocean. About 35,580 tons of garbage is generated every day in the Philippines. On the average, each person in the country produces about 0.5 kilograms and 0.3 kilograms of garbage every day in the urban and rural areas respectively. More than 8 million tons of plastics are dumped in the oceans every year. Over 90% of all the seabirds have plastic pieces in their stomachs. Have you noticed that all of the facts are about plastic waste? Because plastic pollution were top 5 in the biggest environmental problems of 2020, and food waste was third on the list. Have you ever heard about plastic technology? Well, plastic technology is a specialized branch of study of diverse types of chemicals that exhibits plasticity. It also involves the study of several methods in which plastics can be used in human life. They are innovating new products made out of plastics so people can work with ease. Although these plastics will help us humans, especially today that we are facing COVID-19, where professional healthcare workers are wearing protective gloves, we can't just set aside the possibilities of what might these plastics do to us in return. It's just so sad to think that we are perfectly enjoying every single thing in our surroundings without having an idea where does our waste go. So, with the problem pertaining war between plastics and humans, which also us humans created, I decided to come up with an idea of inventing a small machine that will convert empty used plastic bottles and technology waste or e-waste into spoon flakes or a coin. I used these lightweight materials rather than the heavy ones like sort of metals, and I also used some coloring materials, ruler, pencil, pencil pen, tape, cutter, and papers. What I am trying to make is to lessen the waste that people don't really think about every day. We all have to do is to buy lots of plastic materials and gadgets, thinking that it helps us, though it really helps us in lots of situations, but we also need to discipline ourselves on how to dispose them correctly, because if we don't, that might be a big problem not only in our generation, but also in the future. Plastics was known to have a negative impact in our environment. It pollutes throughout its life cycle, beginning from extraction, refining, and ending their disposals in the oceans and waterways, soil, and the air we breathe through burning or incineration. That is why most countries are banning plastics, including Philippines. Plastic waste is one of the major sources of the ocean pollution, which is the main reason of some dead whales that washes on the shore with 115 cups in its stomach. Do you know that Philippines is listed in the world's top 5 countries that makes plastic waste? Together with the countries near our country, namely Vietnam, Sri Lanka, Indonesia, and last, the country that is listed top 1 in the highest population in the world, China. Try to think about what can you, as an individual, do if you're worried about plastics finding its way to the ocean and hurting the fish and sea turtles and whales. Well, lots of things as it turns out. You can use less plastics, recycle more, and etc. That is exactly where my idea in this invention came from. But for now, let's all watch how I made my very own invention, chemical waste converter machine. After 3 days of making it, this is how it looks. How does it works? As you can see, it has 2 holes in it colored by red and blue, and another square hole which is located at the right bottom of the machine. The red colored hole is for the technology waste or e-waste, and the blue is for the empty bottles. After you put the recycled waste in where it should be, you can now choose either C or S buttons that is located at the upper part of the square hole. The button that is labeled as C is for coins, if you decided to trade your plastic bottles or e-waste for a coins, and the other one is labeled as S, that is for spoon flakes. This is basically what you're going to do when you're about to recycle either plastic waste or e-waste. This is how the coins and spoon travel from inside going outside of the box or machine. Now, the fun part about this was if you have recycled 20 bottles or more, you can charge your phone for about 20 minutes for free. It is located at the left side of the machine. You can see a cable right over there and you can pull it easily. But if you are not able to recycle 20 bottles, then this cable won't work. This is a 2 meters long so you can enjoy the cable, walk around if you want while you're consuming your 20 minutes free charge. And yes, it only works for 20 bottles. So what's inside the box or the machine? First, let's open it. As you can see, it is divided into 2 equal parts. This part is for the collection of plastic bottles and e-waste. The upper part of this side is for the technology waste. And below was for the plastic bottles. While the right part of this side was for the stock of coins and spoon flakes. Let's talk about spoon flakes for a minute. These utensils are made from wheat and rice, but that doesn't mean that they aren't sturdy, because you can eat soup using this and I assure you that it won't fall apart. After you finish eating, you can also eat the spoon as a snack, but don't worry. It doesn't taste like plastics because it is made of wheat. It tastes like crackers instead. Let's go back inside the machine. You can see a small slide figure. I don't know. Anyways, this is where the item travels straight down outside the box where you can receive your chosen item. And that's how chemical converter machine works. If you are wondering why I called it this way, it's because plastics and e-waste can release harmful chemicals into the surrounding soil, which can then seep into the groundwater or other surrounding water sources, and also the ecosystem. This can cause a range of potentially harmful effects on the species that drinks the water. Let's go down to the benefits of this invention. You can tell it by simply looking at the function of this machine. Besides from it helps us to recycle our own waste, this machine also helps us to discipline ourselves by disposing plastic waste properly without forcing ourselves to do so. It is so fun to use. It encourages either children or adults to learn how to take care of their own waste, especially to some teenagers who lack of self-discipline and responsibilities about taking care of their own waste. People just throw the plastics away, right there in some corners, but with the existence of this machine, instead of throwing those plastics, why not put it in here, so that people can lessen the environmental problems? It is so useful. You can place it in the school canteen so that children can earn a little money if they decided to trade it into a coin, or a spoon flakes where they can eat with soups with this. You can also place it in front of Municipal Hall, inside or outside of the market, or in fact, you can place it anywhere because it does not need a cable to run this machine. It can sustain electricity itself because it has solar power at the top of it, so it gives enough energy coming from the sun. Solar energy also contributes positive effects towards our environment. It reduces air pollution and helps fight climate change.